All right, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to cover a whole story here for you on how to get unblacklisted from Amex. Maybe we'll call these the Credit Chronicles. You see that I got that written there? I don't know, it just sounded cool. I don't know if we'll stick with that, but basically, I'm always looking for great stories to share with you guys to serve as motivation, inspiration, and just to show you real world examples of people getting through it, right? And so here is a great example of how to get out of Amex blacklisting. Let's dive into it. All right, so here we go. This is Doc, which shout out to Doc. This is a credit space OG. Like you will see him in everyone's comment sections for, credit-based YouTube videos. He's been around since I don't know how long, but I just always see him in every video you can imagine around credit. And that proves that he's out there educating himself, continue to, raise his understanding and continues to get after it, I guess. So anyways, here's his story on how he completely trashed his credit, rebuilt, and then got out of Amex blacklisting. But then at the end, he shares some words of wisdom. So, all right, so let's start at the top. Sometime between 2003 and 2005, he picked up 3 Amex cards. So remember the time, 2003 to 2005 is very different than what it is now. The green, the blue every day, and one card that they no longer offered. And then along with that, he got other cards from Chase, Citi, Bank of America, and Discover. So pretty good lineup, right? I didn't know much about credit, but I liked having the cards for convenience and security protection. Great idea. Fast forward to around 2015. My wife became very sick during her pregnancy and quit working, so I had to cover all the bills. Then after our daughter was born, I was overwhelmed with the growing debt, mortgage, and auto loans as a result of multiple late payments and not paying the balance in full on his green card. Amex closed 3 of his cards simultaneously. Note, there was no pay over time feature back then for Amex charge cards, which again, they didn't, so you had to pay every month in full. BOA and Wells Fargo also closed some of his cards. Amex did send me an invite to apply for their infamous Optima card, which is like their rebuilding card, come and try us again type card. It offered no rewards and had an annual fee of $45 or something like that. However, I had to pay the balances in full on all 3 cards to be considered. I was very mad and disappointed, so I declined their offer. I still made the minimum payments because I felt obligated to pay my debts, but I couldn't afford to pay everything off quickly. I had accumulated around $60,000 in unsecured debt. Sound familiar? I think there's a lot of people in this boat right now, right? If not more. More debt, $60,000 and above, right? He also had to sell his house and one of his cars. Then in 2017, I decided to improve my finances. So finally got sick and tired of it and took ownership and went and got aggressive with it. Same thing happened to me. Same thing happens to a lot of you watching, a lot of you coming to our channel. You finally hit the point where enough is enough. You're sick and tired of it. And let's get some answers. Let's get some education and let's go out there and make a change for ourselves, right? Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to fix your problem, right? And I think that's something that as a society in America, we really need to shake off, okay? It's much stronger and empowering for you as an individual to take accountability for yourself, to educate yourself, and then to go out and make the physical change in your life, because then you get to make it, you're seeing that happen, and then you get to see the result of it, right? So anyways, let's get back into it. So then in 2017, I decided to improve my finances. So I took up Dave Ramsey approach and cut up most of my cards. However, I kept the remaining cards open. I had gone from 10 bank issued credit cards to only 3. My credit lines shrank from a total of $45,000 to only $15,000. Also, my FICO scores plummeted from around 720s down to 590 to 600 across all 3 bureaus. As I started researching financial well-being online, I kept seeing all the financial YouTubers talk about the importance of credit and how to leverage it for assets and for free travel. Yeah, that's talked about very often, so good point there. In 2018, I began using simple cashback debit cards. Then I started using the 3 credit cards I had left and brought their utilization down to 5% and paid the balances in full. Man, I can tell you, that's gotta feel pretty good, because going through that and running up myself in personal debt and then paying it down, feels great, feels great. The minute that you pay that off and you see the balance down to 0 or at 0, as well as now seeing it reflected on your credit reports, man, that's a good feeling. I decided to apply for the Amex Cash Magnet and was instantly denied. I later applied for the Amex personal checking account and was also instantly denied. I realized at that moment, I'm blacklisted from Amex. And yes, you were. Thus, I focused on the other issuers, i.e. Chase, Discover, various credit unions. As my credit score began to increase, I watched the countless hours of videos on credit repair, utilization, disputes, etc., etc. During this time, I continued to pay down my Amex cards and eliminated most of my unsecured debt. Amex has their own internal collections department, which held one of my accounts, so I negotiated a payment plan with them. Ironically, I still had online access to all of my Amex accounts, even while they were canceled with no other way to use them, so I kept paying on them, which again, kudos to you, because there's a lot of people out there don't want to pay, they won't pay, etc., etc. So That's cool. All right, now here we go. The end of the story, or thereabouts. Fast forward to 2023. By the time my credit score rose to around 740 to 750 across the board, I accumulated around 220,000 in personal credit and another 30,000 in business credit. I also locked in a 3% mortgage loan, which incredible, considering now they're like over 8. My collection of cards included all the issuers I wanted. However, I still missed my old Amex cards. Since I had already paid in full all of my previous Amex cards with substantial interest, I decided to try my luck with their Apply with Confidence tool on their website. I fully expected I'd automatically be denied, as in the past, but I figured, why not? It's only a soft poll, pre-qual, let's go ahead and do it. I filled out their application for the personal gold with a 75,000 point bonus. Lo and behold, instant approval. Now, let's talk about why real quick that was instantly approved. Once you're blacklisted with Amex, they want you to pay it off. If you were to file bankruptcy today, they are still one of the only creditors that will show up and expect, like, you're gonna pay that off. You cannot put this on your Chapter 7 bankruptcy. You cannot get around paying us. You have to pay us. But the good news is, if you do pay them, you're out of the blacklisting and you're free and clear. If you never pay them back or somehow do get it included in your bankruptcy or something like that, expect it to be a very hard, if not impossible, journey to get back in there. The ways in there are through these other mechanisms, the high yield savings account, the personal checking, try and get the prepaid debit card that they've got. I think it's called Bluebird or something like that. Optima card, those sorts of things are your ways in. But if you're getting denied across the boards for those, then you're gonna have to give it more time, try and work out a payment plan, or just scrap the thought of getting Amex, because for right now, and how it's been for at least the last 5 to 7 years that I know of, that's how they are. And so, yeah, it's gonna be difficult for you to get back in there. All right, so anyways, let's pick up the story. I could barely believe my eyes. They also gave me a pay over time limit of $25,000, which is a very high limit to start off with. A month later, I applied for the green card when I saw the elevated $60,000 sub, mainly because he missed his own green card. Bam, instant approval again on that. Finally, he applied for the Amex Marriott Bonvoy business card, mouthful, chef's kiss, that's a great card. Also with an elevated 125,000 sub, instant approval. It seems he's worked his way back into the good graces with Amex and no longer on their blacklist. Okay, so first off, congratulations. That's gotta feel good to get that green card back, get those cards back that you had in your rotation that you loved before. So congratulations on that. Hell of a story, right? So now let's leave you with the biggest piece of advice that he gave for all of you that are trying to work your way back through repairing your credit, no matter where you are in your journey. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Research available information. Don't compare yourself to everyone else. It's not a race. Everyone's credit profile is different. If possible, develop a plan based on your own individual goals. Begin with the end result in mind. Don't get random credit cards just to have them. Even in the beginning phase, go for secured or beginner credit cards from institutions you want to grow a relationship with, because in the long run, that's gonna be a better idea. Credit unions can be extremely helpful in growing your credit. In my opinion, I view credit as one piece of a larger financial pie. What's beautiful is that these are echoing the same things that we talk about on this channel day in and day out. Think of the end in mind. Think of what you need as an individual. Don't get caught up in FOMO and go and get a bunch of store credit cards or Synchrony credit cards just because you got excited, or a shopping cart trick or whatever, fill in a blank. Go out and get cards that you need. Go out and build relationships with banks that you actually want to bank with. You do have a choice. There are a ton of banks, thousands and thousands of them. At the regional, national, credit union level, there are so many options for you. It's not even funny in America. America has the most banks in the world. So take your time, figure out what you want, and then execute on your plan and stay focused, because yes, it does take time, but in the end, it will feel good and you will be in a place that you want to be. So anyways, I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support us, just drop a comment below or like the video or watch some more videos on the channel. That seems to help us get more traction. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next one. Before I go, did you know that we've actually spent the last year creating a digital program called Master the Credit Game? This is an entire school, essentially. It is covering everything from personal credit, rebuilding, credit unions, business credit, entrepreneurialism, side hustles, will, estate planning, you know, how to pay less in taxes, everything that you need to actually go from zero, where you might be right now, to success, right? So if you're interested in that and getting around like-minded individuals, then you're gonna wanna join the link on the screen. We're constantly updating this. We actually update it weekly. We have dedicated channels where we post those updates. So you can be assured that as credit information is changing, we are gonna be updating you and making sure that you've got access to the most relevant information going on with credit approvals, data points, banks, et cetera, et cetera. The link is on the screen right now. Go ahead and join and jump in there. Hey, you should subscribe. 60% of you are not subscribed yet. Right there. Okay, bye.